What's going on? What's going on? I was reading an article, and I told y'all. A lot of these artists, a lot of these entertainers, a lot of these athletes are going broke or they either broke. They don't got the money that they portray themselves to have or what they portray to the public. And I was reading an article, and it said that Lil Wayne, Post Malone, Chris Brown, and a rock band called Nickleback. A lot of these artists and I guess the companies that they run receive like up to like 10 million, and you don't have to repay the loan for the PPP loan pandemic, the COVID-19 relief funds. So we got all these artists out here charging 100, 150, 150, $200 a ticket for concert tickets, $20, $25, $30 for CDs and albums. But they run around getting COVID relief money and crying broke. How crazy is that? I caught an article on Google, and the article was titled, "The U.S. government doled out over 200 million of pandemic relief that helped famous musicians such as Post Malone, Lil Wayne, Chris Brown, and Nickleback." So in the article is talking about how they set up a government fund called SVOG, which was basically for artists and musicians to get COVID relief money, I guess for their production companies and their touring groups and things like that, because they weren't able to tour during the pandemic. The name of the grant was called the Shuttered Venue Operators Grant. So it was designed to give grants to venues affected by COVID-19 lockdowns. Eligible applicants could receive a grant of up to $10 million with no repayment required. What type of shit is that? So the government will give musicians and artists and people like that up to $10 million in loans and grants, and they don't have to pay it back. That's wild to me. That's crazy. So you mean to tell me the artists that run around in the Rolls Royces and the Maybachs, and they got the jewelry all on their teeth and around their neck, and they flying in private jets and shit, buying chicks Birkin bags and flying them out? You mean to tell me they can get COVID relief grant and funds and not have to pay it back up to 10 million? Meanwhile, I was a real deal small business owner with a transportation company, and they gave me a hard ass motherfucking time just trying to get like 5,000, and that little 5,000 didn't do shit. I couldn't do nothing with that. You know how much money it take to run a trucking company? Well, you got drivers to pay, you got insurance, you got fuel, you got permits and licenses and shit like that. They gave me a hard time trying to get that little bit of money, and then they called for me. They were calling me to pay it back. Once once COVID-19 was over, and everybody started getting out and getting things back to growing and moving and getting back to business, they were calling me to start a repayment plan. I'm like, what the fuck y'all talking about? And they giving millions to hip hop and R&B and rock artists. That just goes to show you how backwards the government is. And it also shows you that a lot of these entertainers and rappers and athletes are broke. They live in a lifestyle that they can't afford. They're going in debt, trying to portray an image in order to keep a lifestyle going and get people to buy into their image and buy into what they're selling and buy into their lifestyle. I was reading the article, and it says in the article, the Paycheck Protection Program (PPP) was designed to help businesses maintain their employee headcount. The funds are distributed as loans. However, they could be forgiven under certain conditions. And the SBA Data released in January found that 92% of PPP loans were granted full or partial forgiveness. Damn. Some businesses with rich owners were among those that got off the hook. Retired NFL quarterback Tom Brady's sports nutrition company TB12, for example, received a PPP loan of $960,000, which has since been Damn. So Tom Brady got a PPP loan for $960,000 and he don't got to pay it back. But they coming after me, a small business owner, for $5,000. It says the Office of Inspector General announced in June that it found the SBA may have paid out over $200 billion in fraudulent relief funds. Wow. They gave out $200 billion in fraudulent PPP loans, funds, and relief grants. The programs were created to help the businesses stay afloat and pay their employees during lockdowns. The OIG believes that many of the PPP and EIDL scammers were part of organized crime rings who took advantage of the rapid rollout of the pandemic aid programs. Several financial technology companies swooped in during the pandemic to help applicants fill out pandemic aid paperwork and process their requests on behalf of banks. Some of these companies ranked in billions of dollars in fees for facilitating PPP loans while turning a blind eye to fraudulent applicants, according to a report. For example, loan receivers from one company, Blue Acorn. I know that company, Blue Acorn. That's I think Blue Acorn is the meal prep company where they deliver the boxes of the meal prep and the recipes and all the ingredients, and you cook it yourself, but they deliver it, right to your door. So it said Blue Acorn told the subcommittee they were pressed to approve PPP applications that seemed suspicious, especially if they were high-dollar applications. Blue Acorn did not immediately respond to requests for comments from multiple news publications when the report was released. Blue Acorn received over $1 billion in taxpayer-funded processing fees. Damn, according to the report. But the subcommittee also believes tens of billions of dollars in PPP funds were likely handed out to fraudsters. Most definitely it was. That's what you started hearing about once the pandemic was over, when they were saying a lot of people were getting prosecuted and getting time for those PPP loan fraud cases. You have a couple artists that went to jail and did some time. I think the guy from Pretty Ricky, I think he did some time behind it. And they got a couple other people. But what's crazy to me is I'm still thinking of how they giving billions and millions of dollars to companies all at once, when there was a lot of people out here in the community that could not get no relief. They could barely get housing relief, or they were laid off from a lot of their jobs and they were getting $500 and $600 checks. Meanwhile, they giving millions and millions of dollars to artists that are supposed to have the money and should have the income to sustain their way of life and their living. They get residual checks off videos and music and products that they sell, but they still getting tens of millions of dollars for PPP loans. I don't know what y'all think about that. What they say is how you work the system. I guess you got to know the system. And they were in a position where they could hire companies that could fill out their loan applications for them so they can get it processed a lot quicker and get approved. They were quick with it, so they were getting all the money. Excuse me. They were getting all the money, snatching it up before the small people can get it. The small businesses, the real business owners that really needed it. The people that really needed it, to pay rent and take care of family and kids and things of that nature before we could even get to it. So a lot of those big companies, they knew about this before it hit before it hit the general public. And it gave them a chance to get their paperwork submitted and locked in so they can snatch up all the funds and leave nothing for the people that really needed it. Yeah, I tell you, man, what they say, it's not about, uh, it's all about what you know and who you know. You know, knowledge is power. It's about what you know and who you know. But let me know what y'all think about this. Hit that like, share, subscribe button. Drop a comment in the comment section. You think it's gonna be more cases coming out of entertainers and athletes and things like that that are running these $1 million companies, getting prosecuted for PPP loan fraud? I know I've seen a lot of stories where they go after the small and the regular Joe Schmoes and they get them with no problem. Get them locked up with no problem for 5,000 or 10,000 or 20,000. But meanwhile, you got the companies like Tom Brady company getting almost $1 million. You got Post Malone company getting like 10 million. And you don't hear nothing about them getting ran down on or feds coming beating down their door trying to lock them up. It never ceases to amaze me. But let me know what y'all think about this. Drop a comment in the comment section. You think some of these big name artists and athletes need to pay that money back or be prosecuted for PPP loan fraud, and they got to be held accountable just like some of the regular folks? So drop a comment in the comment section. Hit that like button. Hit that share button. And we're gonna talk to y'all on next. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. God Body Sean, Elevation Nation Conversations. All right, we check to y'all on the next one.